Okay, it is Saturday the 13th of April, and I just did my first dose of Wegovy. I am sick, and I was gonna wait till I'm not sick anymore, but I decided if I'm gonna have bad side effects, I'd rather just get it over with. So, I'm about to have some coffee, and then drink a bunch of water, because I hear that helps with any side effects that you might get. So, this is me, like, 1 minute after Wegovy. Okay, I'm aware that this is not a good angle, and I can't, like, move this to get out of the way, but anyway, just ignore the steering wheel that's cutting off my face. Let me, like, I'm not driving right now, so, this is just the only time that I have to film, so I am doing it in the car, and I'm having my coffee, and, yeah, so, anyway, this video, I'm gonna, like, maybe scooch over here, I don't know what a good place is. This video is about Wegovy, specifically how it has affected me and changed my life for the better. I did a video on the side effects that I experienced, and then I did a video about PCOS and like what it is, what it does to your body, and why you might need Wegovy if you do have PCOS. So anyway, this video is all opinion. None of it is like fact. I'm not a doctor. I can't guarantee that if you go on Wegovy, like this will happen to you. So with that being said, I'm just going to get right into it. Lost 65 pounds, and I'm like, it's slowing down. I think the weight loss is getting a little bit slower this past couple of months, but I am still, you know, losing, so I'm okay with that for now. I'm coming up on 1 year on Wegovy, so I am a little bit worried that my insurance might deny me for the next year, as most prior authorizations are just for a year, but that is, you know, we'll worry about that when we get to it. As I mentioned, I do have PCOS, which can make it really, really difficult to lose weight. For me, it was borderline impossible. I would lose 5 to 10 pounds and then gain it back and then lose it again and then gain it back. I'm pretty much convinced that 5 to 10 pounds was just water weight, and I was just losing that over and over again. So I was really frustrated. I got on Topamax and Wellbutrin, which both are allegedly supposed to help with weight loss. I had a really bad experience with Topamax. Wellbutrin I liked, but I am no longer on it because I don't see the need for it anymore. But the Topamax just messed me up. It gave me the brain fog. It gave me rashes. It like just messed me up. So some people have had a lot of success with Topamax. I certainly did not, and I still think sometimes that I'm feeling the effects of Topamax, even though I've been off of it now for a pretty long time. I'm not sure exactly how long. I stopped it a couple of months before I got on Wegovy. How has it changed my life? Well, first of all, I am no longer insulin resistant. Well, I don't know if I can say that, but I'm no longer pre-diabetic, which is great. And all of my blood work has come back normal for like the first time in 10 years, which is crazy. So within my first like month, maybe 2 months of Wegovy, I lost like almost 20 pounds, I want to say. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I know that I was losing really fast. But that's because the side effects were so bad that I couldn't really eat anything. It also was definitely suppressing my appetite, but the side effects were like so gnarly that I couldn't eat anything, and that's why we stayed on the lower dose for an extra month rather than increase, and we ended up increasing every month after that. So let's talk about food noise. For me, food noise was like constant. I didn't really understand just how bad it was until it like went away. You know, you go to sleep and you're like planning out what you're gonna eat the next day. You wake up and even though I was like measuring food, weighing food, counting calories, it was still just like constant in my brain, just thinking like, when's the next meal, what's gonna happen, blah blah blah. I have read a lot about like food noise and binge eating disorder, which I've never been diagnosed with, so I can't say like for a fact that I have binge eating disorder, but I definitely like exhibited behaviors of binge eating disorder. And from what I read, a lot of that is like from years of like starving yourself. Then your brain like starts thinking like that, like, oh, I need food, I need food, I need food, I need food, you need to keep me fed, I need to be, you know, they call it like your caveman brain or whatever. So I starved myself in high school. I ate 1 meal a day pretty much, and I think that's what caused the food noise to get so bad. When I turned like 18, 19 is when the weight gain from the PCOS started, and I was really trying to lose that weight, and I would do it in ways that are healthy or not healthy. So that being said, that food noise now, like I realized it on my first dose, like that night. I did it in the morning, I believe. And that night I couldn't finish dinner, and I wasn't thinking about it. I was like, this is fine. Like, I don't need to finish it. I'm full and I don't need to. Now, a lot of people who get on Wegovy don't experience that right away. It takes like a couple of shots or a couple of doses to get there. I was an immediate responder. I think I immediately responded because of the fact that I like have an insulin problem, and Wegovy like helps your insulin get more regulated. That's just my opinion. Like I said, not a doctor, not a scientist, but I think that's why it worked for me right away. Is because my insulin was already like all over the place, and once it got like leveled out, I was able to like feel normal and eat like a normal person. Let's talk a little bit about that. Like, I just remember thinking, this is what normal people feel like. This is what people who like are naturally thin feel like. Like, you're just not constantly thinking about food all the time. You're not really that worried about what you're having for dinner, because like you'll eat, you'll get there, it'll happen. And so that's actually kind of been a struggle, because I am a stay-at-home mom, and like there have been days where I just do not feel like cooking anything because I'm not hungry, and like what's the point? But I have to like keep my family fed. So I still feed my family, don't worry. But it's just one of those things that like I used to plan out our meal plans. I would do every single day for the month. I would write it down. I would get the groceries. And now I do like maybe 10 meals for the whole month, and like meal prep and do leftovers. And it's actually like saved me a decent amount of money on groceries. So after being on it for a month, I had a doctor's appointment, and it was over the phone. And I remember like almost crying, and I'm gonna cry right now because I'm by myself, so excuse me because I get emotional whenever I talk about this. Just the way that like I realized after being on Wegovy that I wasn't the problem with my weight gain. It was in fact my PCOS and my insulin resistance and my pre-diabetes and my inflammation and all of those things that just made a perfect little cocktail for like being unable to lose weight. I realized being on Wegovy that it's not me. Like, I was sick. I had an illness. I have an illness. And this shot, like, makes that feeling go away. And I'm able to lose weight without doing anything different. I'm actually working out less than I used to. And I'm eating a little bit less healthy than I used to. I'm getting back on the super healthy train because, like I said, I'm, like, in a plateau. And, like, it's been... Sorry, there's a car. Like I said, I'm like in a plateau, and so I want to like get down to my goal weight. I realized that like I was in a calorie deficit, and it just was not working for me. I was eating extremely healthy. I was eating super low carb. I was exercising. I was getting 10 to 20,000 steps a day, going on hikes every week, doing weight training, doing like HIIT workouts, all of the things. Sorry, I'm watching these dudes in the front of my car. It wasn't working. Like I said, 10 pounds max. That's how much I would lose. And that was with medical intervention. That was on Topamax. The Wegovy, when I started the Wegovy, I continued to do all that like hardcore stuff, except the working out. I would take many, many breaks because at first I was just so exhausted. The shot really wore me down. I got really fatigued. Now I still definitely get the fatigue, but usually it's like right before my period, so I think that's her fault, not the Wegovy. I still try and hit the 10,000 steps a day, and I don't weight train anymore, and I don't really do super difficult cardio anymore, and I'm still like in a deficit calorie wise, and I'm still losing. So unfortunately for me, I'm 5 feet tall, so if I want to lose 2 pounds a week right now without working out, the calorie calculators all say I would need to eat like under 1,000 a day, and that's just like not healthy. So I do at least get my 10,000 steps in so that I can eat like 1,000, at least 1,200, you know? It's a really low amount of calories to eat, but I'm 5 feet tall, and when I am sedentary, whatever that word is, I can't be going over that if I want to stay in a deficit. So, and I'm also no longer really losing 2 pounds a week. It's more like a half a pound, which is fine. I just want to get there fast, and I'm losing my patience a little bit. It does really feel like you get this like validation that you're like, this isn't me, it's not my willpower or lack of, It's the fact that I was like literally sick. I had insulin resistance, I had all these issues, and I couldn't lose weight because my brain like would not allow it, and my body would not allow it. And now it's like, okay, it would have allowed it this entire time if my insulin was normal. So like my biggest like piece of advice to people with PCOS is to see an endocrinologist, and you know, start there. And if you want to get on something like Wegovy, I say go for it. There are people that quit using it because the side effects are so bad. For me, they were really bad at first, but it was worth pushing through because I was seeing results, and then now I barely get any. So the validation, the lack of food noise, like the food noise being gone is crazy, and the only way that I can like describe it is like when you're talking and you know what word you're looking for, but it's not there. Like it's on the tip of your tongue, it's on the front of your brain, but you can't find it. That is what it feels like to like not have the food noise. Like, you know, like it feels like, anyway, you know that it's there, you're like trying to think about it, but it like makes your brain hurt a little bit. That's my, I don't know how else to really explain it, but that's my experience with it. Like, of course, blood work being normal and insulin being normal is all great, but the reason why I decided to go on the shot was to lose weight so that I could get pregnant. Like, the plan was like next month, but I am not at my goal yet, and I want to be at least at my goal, maybe like 10 pounds away from it. But I had a really rough pregnancy the first go around, and I don't want a repeat of that. And I think a lot of it was that I was so overweight, and then I gained 50 pounds on top of being overweight. And I was just in so much pain. Like, I had joint pain, muscle pain. Dude looked at me, made eye contact with me. I was struggling to like get up. I was struggling to like get off the couch, get out of the bathtub. I was very lightheaded all the time, which I know is like normal, even if you are at a normal weight. But I feel like next time could be a lot easier if I don't feel so like terrible. I like skipped out on a baby shower because I felt like trash about my appearance and because of COVID. But like a lot of it, the decision to cancel the baby shower was because of the way that I looked. I had really bad acne the whole time. I didn't get any pregnancy glow or anything. So it was really rough, but I'm hoping that next time will be easier because I will have lost all the weight that I needed to lose. Now, I am concerned about going off of Wegovy during the pregnancy and during breastfeeding because you cannot be on it for while you're pregnant or while you're breastfeeding. So I'm a little bit nervous about the weight gain because I've been reading a lot about it. And a lot of people who go off of Wegovy end up just gaining everything back. I have been reading a little bit that it could be managed with with metformin for a while, and I know that metformin is okay during pregnancy, so I might just stay on metformin. I know like you're supposed to gain weight while you're pregnant. I just don't want to go overboard, and I don't want my insulin to go back to being like pre-diabetic in those ranges. It's just something to consider, like whether or not I want to stay on that. That's something that I need to talk to my OB about, but I'm not pregnant yet, so I'm not trying to worry about it yet. Probably within the next couple of months. We do want to expand our family, and I don't want the age gap between my children to be like super crazy, and we're already at 4 years right now. So yeah, can't be on it while you're pregnant or breastfeeding. I am nervous about weight gain from that. I'm nervous, especially like while I'm breastfeeding. But when I was breastfeeding before, I ended up losing the 50 pounds that I'd gained, plus like 10 or 20 more pounds on top of that. So hopefully like breastfeeding works the same way next time, and I'm able to like lose the baby weight. And I'm much more active than I was when I was pregnant. So I think if I like continue being active and stuff, then hopefully we can keep the insulin under control, plus diet, of course. I don't really know what else there is to add other than like the feeling of validation is crazy, and like, you know, the worries about getting off of it, and then will I be able to get back on it to manage my insulin, or will I have to stay on metformin forever? I was on metformin prior to Wegovy, and I just don't feel like it did too much, but also I was on a really low dose, and I've been reading that like when you have PCOS you need to be on a higher dose for it to be effective. I also did the inositol, which can help, but I don't feel like it helped me with anything other than regulating periods, which is great, but I don't think it helped with insulin resistance whatsoever. So there's that. I have said this in all my videos so far, but I did film like from start to finish. Well, we are not finished yet, but I filmed from start to now everything that I've been going through with the Wegovy, getting off metformin, getting back on metformin, being in these plateaus, the side effects. I've filmed everything, and I am going to eventually post that as like a 3 or 4 part series. Just want to wait until I feel like I'm at my goal weight and like I feel better about everything before I do it, so that it's like a completed story. And hopefully if you're watching this, you will subscribe so that you can see that. Let's talk a little bit about the stigma behind drugs like Wegovy and Ozempic. A lot of shit people talk about it because it's like taking the easy way out or whatever. It is not taking the easy way out. You still definitely have to change your habits, especially if you don't want to gain weight when you like get off of it. It's still like you still have to put in the work. It just makes your brain a little bit like less crazy about food and obsessing over it and things like that. I don't know if that's just an insulin resistance thing or if that's a binge eating disorder thing or what, but you obsess over food, and it's really, really hard to like, when you have PCOS, it's really hard to ignore cravings because it's like you're craving air after being underwater for like 2 minutes, you know? It's like you need it. And so that's how it was described to me, and I really love that because it's exactly how it is if you have PCOS. So it's very difficult to lose weight. And there's also been a study that came out that your TDEE, if you have PCOS, is lower than most like calorie calculators will give you. So you could be eating at what you think is a caloric fucking hell, but you're actually not, because your TDEE is actually lower. So I don't know like the truth of that. I'll link that study in the description too. It's interesting. Now like I'm at a caloric deficit that matches like the calorie calculators, and I'm still losing. It's just slower because I'm short and not that active at the moment. I need to work on getting more active, so that's something that I have been trying to do. I bought a walking pad. I go on hikes. Today would normally be my hike day, but it's dumping rain, so I'm gonna just do the walking pad when I get home. If someone in your family is giving you shit about being on Wegovy or considering going on it, my argument that I give is like, okay, well, I have a disease and you're telling me that I shouldn't treat it in the way that my disease is responding to. Like, I've never had such a response to any other medication that I've tried. This medication is like pretty safe. It's not new. It's been around for a really long time. That's the other thing. People say that it's new. It's not new. It's been studied for a really long time for diabetes, and I have insulin resistance, which would have led to diabetes if I didn't like get some sort of help. So what you're telling me when you're saying that this is the easy way out is that you would rather me get type 2 diabetes than treat it now and go take the easy way out. So some people choose not to tell anybody that they're on it. I read a post on Reddit that this woman didn't even tell her husband that she was on it, and he like found it in the fridge and was like, okay. I've told basically everyone who asks me how I've lost weight that I'm taking Wegovy. I don't think there should be a stigma around it, and I don't think there should be any shame around it. I think that it should be like celebrated. It's like, you know, having depression and taking antidepressants. Some people just need medication to like get that boost that they need. I am one of those people. If you are able to control your PCOS with just diet and exercise and like supplements alone, then that's awesome. I tried to go that route and it did not work for me. And I tried it for years and it did not work for me. And now I am 26. I'm going to be 27 in like a month. And I don't want to spend the rest of my 20s hating myself. So again, would you rather have me just like completely hate myself or take the easy way out? Like, I think that people who get mad about Ozempic or Wegovy or Zepbound or whatever just are projecting their own insecurities onto you, and try not to take that personally. I'm putting my story out on the internet, so I'm sure, you know, eventually I'll get a comment like that. But like, I don't care because it's working for me, and you're not gonna change my opinion about what this drug has done for me. Legitimately changed my life in like so many positive ways. Yes, there are side effects, but they are well worth it to be in a body that I don't hate. Like, I'm not even at my goal weight yet, but I'm lower than I've been in years, and I feel good about myself right now. I do like experience a little bit of body dysmorphia, but I feel like that's getting a little bit better. I don't know. I think that's all that I have for today about how Wegovy has completely changed my life. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to add here. I didn't write anything down for this. I wanted it just to be like a sit down, like chit chat, like hang out with me in my car and drink coffee with me sort of video. I don't think I have anything else to add. If you are watching this and you have any questions, like feel free to ask me. You can leave it in the comments. I don't have like an Instagram. I do have a Twitter and I have a TikTok. You can DM me on either one of those. I'll link those in the description as well. I will be back next week with something else. I don't know what yet, but something. And we'll talk more. So, bye.